Friends, welcome to today's daily devotion as we're continuing to understand or attempt to understand what Paul has to say to us in the 13th chapter of Romans. Today we're reading verses 8 through 10. Hear now these words. Owe nothing to anyone except love. For they who love their neighbor have satisfied the law. The commandments: you must not commit adultery, you must not kill, you must not steal, you must not covet, and whatever other commandments there is, are all summed up by the words, you must love your neighbor as you love yourself. Love never wrongs a neighbor. Therefore, love fully satisfies the law. I think Paul makes a very, very interesting turn here in the 8th verse of chapter 13. He's been talking about respecting governmental authority and submitting to paying our taxes, to being a part of what the government is, even in the midst of it being an incredibly corrupt government. Paul is writing this in the context of the Roman Empire and Caesar, who had proclaimed himself to be a God on earth, and that everyone must submit to Caesar. And Paul is saying, yeah, it's not good, but just pay your taxes and then owe nothing to anyone except love. Now, how in the world do we go from taxes to love? Well, it's a great question. This brings us back to Romans chapter 12 and how we, as the followers of Jesus, are expected to have our minds transformed by being living sacrifices to God. Paying your taxes becomes an expression of love, and that means we can pay love and not owe anything else. Now, when we pay our taxes, we fulfill an obligation. Yeah, I know that the next year comes around and you got to pay your taxes yet again, but each time we pay our taxes, we get our tax bill marked paid in full. But love? There is nothing that allows us to proclaim all our love is paid in full, that I can do this much and I'm done. I don't need to love anybody anymore. All of the commandments of the Old Testament are intended to get us to this realization that for the Christian, the difference is love is given for unconditional love received. God so loved us that he gave us his Son. Jesus says there is no greater love than this, but to lay down one's life for one's friend. I have called you friends, and I lay down my life for you. This was the unconditional love of God given to humanity, and this, as Christians, are why we are to give sincere love. Not fake love, not pretend love. The non-Christian is giving fake love as a condition for love received. Fake love is all about the transaction. You give, I give. You don't give, I don't give. And so it all falls down to tit for tat. But God is not looking for transactions. God is looking for relationship. The vertical relationship between us and God, the up and down. That then translate as what Paul says here as loving neighbor as yourself, the horizontal love. Well, do you know what you get when you put the vertical together with the horizontal? A cruciform, a cross-shaped love, a cross-shaped life. This, my friends, is the point and purpose of submitting ourselves to the government, of paying our taxes. It is to be an expression not of capitulation to evil government, but a recognition of holy, God-based love, able to overcome evil with good. Wow, what God can do. And I'll see you tomorrow for our next daily devotion.